Today's subscription spot, we're having a look at another box from the folks over at Bakers Krate. This is Bakers Krate for December 2016. Bakers Krate guarantees natural, local, and fresh baked desserts delivered right to your house. Again, this is the box for December 2016. If you'd like to give the gift of Bakers Krate this year, you can click the link down below and subscribe today. Subscribe for yourself or subscribe to someone else as well, somebody that you care about and want to deliver, again, fresh baked desserts right to their house. So without further ado, I'm going to reach off camera and grab Hank here. We're going to go ahead and cut the tape on the front and see what Bakers Krate has delivered to us for December 2016. With the holiday season fast approaching, well, I guess we are technically into the holiday season. Christmas time, though, is fast approaching. It's next week. Or depending on when Spot posts this, it's actually in the next couple of days. Bakers Krate, carrying over the Christmas theme, has opted to package the box itself in a holiday festive wrapping paper, which I think is a nice little touch. I'm hoping inside, being that this is, after all, a Christmas month, I hope we're actually going to get ourselves something like peppermint or candy cane. That's always a surefire hit for me. Happy holidays from the folks over at Bakers Krate. Nice little card there. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I guess we've got a little background information about all the bakers represented here in the box, which I guess would be correct. Let's see, we got Flower Girls, Dar's Country Market, West End Bakery, and Market Fresh, each with their own corresponding websites. I can freeze or you can freeze it if you'd like. There's the addresses right there. And we'll put that to the side. And then as for this month's box, I guess we have, oh, that's clever. In the past, they've listed the ingredients on a separate card. This time around, they've listed the ingredients on the back side of the same card that tells you what's going to be inside. So this month's box consists of a red velvet cake pop. That sounds delicious. Snowflake gingerbread, also sounds delicious. Peanut butter balls, Christmas shortbread, and fruitcake. I have of the category that likes fruitcake. I know there are many people out there that don't care for fruitcake. My mom made a delicious fruitcake. And then happy holidays down below. So on the back here, it won't tell you necessarily how to make said items or the amount of each ingredient that's required. But if you have any sort of allergies, they will take the time to tell you exactly what's in it. That way, if you have an allergy to a certain ingredient, you don't have to worry about consuming it and breaking out. We'll put that right over there. Oh, and also speaking of candy cane, they included a candy cane in this month's box as well. That's a nice little treat. Now, speaking of treats, there's going to be a lot of delicious treats inside here. We've got our peanut butter balls. Let's see what else we have in here. Oh, we have our red velvet cake pop. Just trying to see everything in here, kind of get a feel for it before we start trying these goodies. The Christmas, I think this is the Christmas shortbread. Looks like there's 3 different types. And let's see what else. Of course, we have our gingerbread. Snowflake gingerbread. I think that's it. I don't know. Oh. Well, enough, of course, our fruitcake in there as well. I just want to see if we've got, well, there's a lot of packing material in here. I just want to make sure I've covered off everything. All right, so we will put that in there. Try to clean up our mess as we go along. And what are we going to try first? Maybe, you know what? Maybe what we'll do is we'll try the red velvet cake pop, to which Spot's referencing then the menu card. And it says this red velvet cake pops is all the rage. It has a delicious, moist red velvet cake center dipped in a decadent chocolate coating. Of course, I could take the time to tell you that there's expiries on all of these. I can also tell you, though, that these things aren't even coming close to a day expired. They're probably going to be polished off post-haste. I'm all about polishing things off post-haste. We'll go ahead and take the ribbon off. You get one singular cake pop. I know in previous boxes they actually would have given you, I think, 2 or so, but in this case you get one cake pop. It's large enough, I suppose, you could take a bite, offer it to your loved one if they would like to try a bite of it as well. It's sprinkled in a festive graffiti sprinkling, and of course covered in chocolate. Let's give this a try, the Red Velvet Cake Pop. See how it tastes. Here we go. It's a mouthful, I'll say that. It's a mouthful. The red velvet cake inside has a denseness to it, but it's still actually quite moist. The chocolate on the outside does a good job of encapsulating and giving a little additional sweetness to the red velvet cake inside. Not that it necessarily needs it. The red velvet cake, though, is quite delicious. I don't know if I would say it would really need anything. I mean, I guess it could have a center to it, like an icing center, so it's not just all substantial cake. But the cake is so delicious. Chewing it, though, that was an undertaking, so to speak, because there was just so much to eat. But that is a fine, fine dessert pop. I'm going to put that over there, and I'll be picking away at that later. Moving along, let's have a look at the peanut butter balls. Oh, which, by the way, let's flip it around here. The red velvet cake was brought to us by, I don't know, it actually, oh, you know what, I think it says it on the wrapper. I just want to give much needed props where props should be given. I think actually the red velvet cake does not have a label on it. I would like to give some props to the people that made it. Well, we've got, let's see, process of elimination. Flower Girls made the gingerbread. Fruit cake was made by West End. We've got Market Fresh. And we've got Dar's Country. Now, all of 4 are covered on the back here. One of which also made the cake pops. I'd like to give them credit, but unfortunately not listed. So moving along, we're going to go to the peanut butter balls, another Christmas favorite. These peanut butter balls are rich and crunchy. And they are brought to us by Dar's Country Market. If you want to, there is the email address, darlene@darscountrymarket.com. You can also go to www.darscountrymarket.com as well. Now in this case, you get 4 peanut butter balls. 4. So you can have, if it's a family of 4 in your household, you can have 1. You can share the other one to mom, to dad, to brother Billy, or you can eat all 4. And somebody would say, hey, did anything come in that box this month? And you would say, no, nothing at all. Just go about, do whatever you were going to be doing before. Go, nothing in here. There's nothing in here. Let's give these a try. The peanut butter balls from, once again, Dar's Country Market. Let's give these a try. Now, I've had peanut butter balls before. I don't. Now they allude these to be crunchy. I've not had crunchy peanut butter balls before, but let's give these a try. I can tell you, it definitely was not what I was expecting it to be. When I heard crunchy, my immediate thought was that it was going to be like crunchy peanut butter with little chunks, little nuggets inside of peanuts. Quite the contrary, I have to admit. Inside, it almost had like, well, I'll tell you what it tastes like in a second. It has almost more like almost like little pieces of like toffee, not toffee, but like something crispy. Oh, okay, I'll just describe what it tastes like a Butterfinger. You know how Butterfingers have, it's peanut butter, but there's something else in there as well. It's like, I don't know, layers, crispy layers of sugar, like brown sugar or toffee or something that when you bite into it, it has a crunchiness to it as well. This is exactly the same thing as a Butterfinger. It's absolutely delicious. Now, I say that as well because I find Butterfingers as a whole delicious as well. These are absolutely delicious. I'm going to do my very best this holiday season to share, and I will offer that to the rest of the family, but there's no promises. Just saying, just no promises. Moving along, we're going to have the Christmas shortbread. Enjoy 3 different scrumptious shortbread cookies, chocolate dipped, almond, and raspberry filled. It does work out that the raspberry filled is on the end because that's actually the one I would have gone with. There's something to be said about a delicious buttery shortbread where you've got jam in the middle of it. That to me is the holiday season. I'm ripping this bag tremendously. Let's grab a knife. Nothing that Hank can't make short work of as we access this shortbread. Inside, it appears possibly to be raspberry jam. I mean, to me, holiday season is all about shortbread. Shortbread, fruitcake, if it's done right. I find a very, very small list of good made fruitcakes. A lot of them I find very dry, but we'll get into that in a second. Not getting ahead of ourselves, let's give this a try. The Christmas shortbread, which actually came to us from Market Fresh. And Market Fresh, actually, let's reference the other card here. Your local fresh and wholesome gourmet market. We are passionate about food and community. www.marketfreshguelph.ca. All right, let's resume. Let's give this a try. The shortbread, Christmas shortbread, and more specifically, the jam-centered shortbread. Let's give it a try. I'm not familiar completely with the notion of the recipe for shortbread. Again, we could look at the back of the card here. It's flour, icing, sugar, cornstarch, butter, almond extract, almonds, raspberry jam, and chocolate. I feel like the shortbread is a little on the drier side. Sometimes you get shortbread that's a little bit more buttery, a little more rich. This one feels just a tad bit drier. It's still good. Still has that buttery flavor to it, but it caters itself more towards, I think, the fans of shortbread that like a slightly drier shortbread. Something that they could have with like a cup of tea or a cup of hot chocolate during the winter season. It's good, but it's a little on the dry side. The raspberry jam definitely accents and gives it a little extra elevated flavor. If not for that, I would find that the shortbread is a little on the dry side, if I have to be honest about that. Moving along, we're going to try this is the snowflake shortbread, all-purpose flour. Let's list the ingredients. All-purpose flour, baking soda, baking powder, unsalted butter, brown sugar, ground ginger, cinnamon, ground cloves, black pepper, salt, eggs, and molasses. So it goes back to the old adage that if you can understand all the ingredients in something, at least it's better for you. There's no chemicals, there's no nothing in any of these. Oh, that's what it was. Sorry, I'm just getting off track here. The peanut butter balls. Oh, it's peanut butter, icing sugar, Rice Krispies. That's what they added the crunch. The Rice Krispies, margarine, and melted chocolate. Delicious. But the read up on the snowflake gingerbread, Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without gingerbread. I would agree. This molasses and ginger cookie is sure to delight. I'm sure it will be. Let's go ahead and open it up. And it came to us from Flour Girls, www, not flour, not the little kids that are at weddings, but Flour Girls. Baking flour, Flour Girls, F-L-O-U-R, girls.com, Flour Girls. And we're just gonna break off a little piece as to not make too much of a crumb mess all over the place. The piping work on the icing is top-notch. There's one of the pieces. I can already smell the gingerbread. It's permeating this room. That's a smell I do enjoy during the Christmas season. The smell of gingerbread. Let's give this a try. The snowflake gingerbread cookies, which I'm sure are going to be a surefire hit. Let's give them a try. The density of the gingerbread is a little harder than some of the other gingerbreads. It's very much more a crunchy gingerbread. I can taste the very solid, profound flavors one would expect to find with a gingerbread, such as the ginger, the cinnamon, and ground cloves. Surprisingly, predominantly, while one would expect the cloves and the ginger to play a big role, the one thing I taste above more than that is actually the cinnamon. It almost is a more borderline cinnamon gingerbread cookie than it is just a straight gingerbread flavor. I don't think I've experienced the gingerbread that has more a cinnamon flavor to it. And actually, I think I like the flavor quite a bit. Essentially, what you're getting here is you're getting a dense cookie, very crunchy, not soft, not chewy, but a very crunchy cookie. And very much more so gingerbread with cinnamon. Cinnamon being the crucial ingredient here in this cookie. It's actually quite nice. I don't know if I could have a lot of these because the cinnamon is strong, but one or two of those cookies, again with a cup of hot chocolate or even eggnog. Ooh, an eggnog would be nice with that. The final thing, and I wanted to leave this to the last because everybody usually thinks well of fruitcakes or think ill of fruitcakes. There's no like middle of the mark. There's no somebody that says, well, I'm all right with fruitcake. You either really like it or you dislike it. The one glaring thing that I have problems with when it comes to fruitcake is not enough fruit. And we're talking like the store-bought fruitcakes, which never are good. They usually come more so in coming across almost more like a dry bread, I find, than a very moist fruitcake. As a testament to my mother, who made fruitcakes back in the day. Her fruitcake was very moist. It was a moist cake, almost the consistency and moisture content to a banana bread. Something else that a lot of people don't seem to do right. Banana bread should be moist. Fruitcake should be moist. It should never be dry. It should never be like the consistency of bread. It gives us our ingredients, our ingredient list. By the way, this is coming to us from West End Bakery in downtown Guelph. Ingredients: raisins, canned pineapple, rum, there you go, red and green glazed cherries, mixed glaze, fruit nuts, almonds, sugar, shortening, flour, eggs, molasses, cinnamon, frozen orange juice, wonder why it has to be frozen, salt, lemon flavor, apricot glaze, marzipan, icing, sugar, and glucose. 'Tis the season for fruitcake. This one is more candy than cake and oh so delicious. I'm going to try a little bit without sans the marzipan, and then I'm going to try a little bit with the marzipan. Because I really don't want the marzipan to dictate whether this is a successful fruitcake or not. Fruitcake should stand on its own as being delicious and should not need enhancements. Ones at the store, even marzipan does not solve a dry fruitcake. So let's give this a try without marzipan, and then we'll try it with marzipan. Let's give it a try. Well, I can say, first of all, it's a moist fruitcake. It will never be as good as my mom's. I think a lot of people who grow up with their parents making something, you never can find anything that's truly as good as that. This one's pretty close, though, in the way of moistness. It's not dry. It's not like a bread. There's adequate fruitage in there as well with the cherries and the raisins. There's canned pineapple in there as well, but I don't see any pineapple necessarily. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to break just a piece off. Just a piece off and try not to make too much of a mess of it. I'm just going to take off a piece of marzipan and I'm just going to break off a piece of cake. And I know I've done it in the most haphazard type of way. I just want to try it with the marzipan. But there's like so much marzipan up here, I didn't want to just break off a piece because most of it would be marzipan. Yeah, the flavor of the marzipan really enhances the fruitcake. But the fruitcake still stands well on its own. It doesn't need the marzipan. That is the mark of a good fruitcake. I salute you, makers of fruitcake. So there you go, guys. There is the Baker's Krate for December 2016. While it may not be, it still be too late, unfortunately, for a Baker's Krate for this holiday season, you could certainly subscribe to Baker's Krate as a gift for somebody. See, that's for you. I've subscribed you to Baker's Krate, where every single month you can get yourself a box of locally baked goods delivered right to your door. And then somebody would say, wow, you love me that much. I do. Happy holidays from myself and Baker's Krate. Today, once again, we were looking at Baker's Krate for December 2016. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.